Hi there everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I am sharing with you my submission for the Hello Bluebird challenge for summer 2022. They've started doing challenges. I want to say this is their third one. They are ran not only in their Facebook group, but also in, on their Instagram. So I will have the link to their group, a link to their Instagram page in the description box down below. You have to use their product and it has to somehow coordinate with the mood board that they've shared. So in this video, you're going to see me coloring some images and creating a card. I actually ended up creating 2 cards, and next week you will see the second one, and then I would like to hear your thoughts and opinions on which one you liked best. So I will have timestamps not only on the screen but also in the description box. That way it pops up chapters, so if you're not interested in watching me color, you can skip all the way through that. I just turn on some music and go through it, so it's not me sitting there explaining how I color or anything like that. But other than that, that's it. So let's head over to the craft table and we'll get started. So as I said in the intro, this is for the Hello Bluebird challenge, and as you can see here, it's full of bright colors, fun images, and you could go with either summer or colors, etc. And we're going to do a little bit of both. So we're going to be making a card all about summertime and time at the beach. So I'm going to be using the Garden Friends stamp set and the Partly Cloudy die. The Garden Friends stamp set is older and it's one I haven't used before. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in some images. Now, initially, when I made this card, I went ahead and decided to stamp it twice. That's a tip for you. If you're going to be stamping anyway and you think you're going to color, number 1, I almost always make a mistake. Or number 2, it just makes sense to have 2 of each image, and then you can just sit down and color all at one time. And that's pretty much what I did. Since these are brand new and I don't want them to lift the paper, I like to take the part that will be on the paper and kind of run it on the back of my hand just to remove some of the stickiness. And I am stamping this with the MFT Intense Black Hybrid ink, I think. I really like it for Copic coloring. It works really well. It's really black and I enjoy it. So if you're not someone who wants to watch me color, then I will put a timestamp on the screen. But if you are someone who wants to watch me color, I'm going to speed through this part, turn on some music for you, and I will catch up with you when I am done. If you're new to me or new to my style of coloring, I like to start darkest to lightest. I just feel like I have a bit more control that way. And so yeah, so I'm going to turn on some music and I'll catch you up when we are ready to move on. So I am going to go ahead and get these cut out, and I am using the coordinating dies, and they come all together, and I just bought a pair of wire snips from Amazon. Up on the top left is the list of colors that I used. So if you want to pause, take a screenshot, or just write them down, you absolutely can. Once I get these cut out, we're going to move on to the next step. Now, when I initially planned this card, I wasn't thinking that I would be stamping anything else, but I pulled in I believe this is the Happy Hippos. And I decided I wanted to make this into a beach scene. So I am bringing in the umbrella, the pail and sand bucket, and the towel or blanket. And I'm going to stamp those twice, just as I did earlier. That way I have two sets of images. I did only color one set this time, and that's only because I was trying to get this card finished. It wasn't something that I had intended to do. So once again, I'm going to turn on some music and fast forward so you can watch me color, and then we will move on as soon as I have die cut everything. So I'm going to bring in the die cuts, and you can see that I used the exact same colors on the umbrella and everything as I did on the actual images. So I stuck with the same color scheme. I did bring in an orange. I felt like I wanted one more color, and I thought orange would be great. So this is the Partly Cloudy die, and it's one of their slimline dies. And I'm actually going to cut this out several times. The first, I'm going to cut it out in white, and that's going to be kind of my frame. Then I'm going to add brown just to the bottom. This is a craft. I'm going to use that for some sand, so I'm going to cut that out at the bottom. I'm going to bring in a light blue. I believe this is Snow Cone from MFD. Lord, I don't remember. Any kind of aqua, like Pool Party would work. Even Coastal Cabana would work for this. And then I brought in 2 pieces of pattern paper from MFT. I have the rainbow grid, and I honestly don't remember what the other one was. The important thing for this is that you want something that's mostly white with just a hint of pattern. So it's going to work kind of as a neutral, but it's also going to give us some texture to the card. So I'm cutting those out just of the clouds. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and start working on our frame. I'm going to bring in another piece of that cardstock. Again, I believe it's, oh, well, here, let me show you what my idea. So I'm trying to decide which cloud I need to cut off and how many of the rings of the rainbow I need to cut off. I'm going to be doing some trimming, and these are the characters that I am going to end up using. So once I've figured out that, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back and just bring in my scissors and trim it down. A little bit of this was off camera, but I'm literally going to cut off the 2 of the biggest rainbow rings. Is that what they're called? I don't know. Rays. And then one of the clouds, so I can have a pretty decent sized beach. So yeah. So instead of using the brown pieces that I cut out, I decided I wanted to go ahead and add just a larger piece to the back. That way I had a place to adhere my water. So the blue rings or rays of the rainbow are actually going to be my lake, ocean, pool, whatever. It's probably not a pool since they're sand, but you know what I mean. And I just thought this was a fun way to use a die in an unexpected way. Like, this idea came to me almost immediately when I saw this die, and I thought it would be really, really fun. So I'm going to bring in some glossy accents. You're going to want glue with a fairly fine tip, and I'm just kind of dotting that around where I want things to adhere. And again, you're going to want something with a really fine tip. I don't have any of the craft glitter glue. I really need to get some. Put it on the list. So I'm going to put this down, and then I'm going to trim it out with some scissors. Make sure I got it adhered everywhere that it needs to be adhered. And once the coloring was done, this card went really quickly. And if you don't feel like coloring, you could always paper piece. So you could stamp them on a colored piece of paper, whether cardstock or pattern paper, and cut them out that way. Okay, so we're making a slimline card, and for my slimline cards, I like to cut them at 7 and 5.5, and then I score at 3.5. So that gives you a perfect card base, but it also gives you another panel that you can use on a different card. So I'm going to go ahead and get this adhered, and again, I'm going to be using tape runner at the bottom on the brown, and then I'm going to bring in that glossy accent to do the top. And again, I'm not adding a lot. I just want to make sure that I have some on every spot so I can get it adhered down. And once I do that, I'm going to start at the bottom, line this up, and then move it to the top. You guys will have to let me know what you think about having the white background, or do you prefer the blue background? I actually filmed this part after doing my haul, and I was like, I don't know which one I like better. So I'm going to bring in the pattern paper so I can do the clouds. And instead of doing all of them in the blue patterns, I'm bringing in some of the white that I cut as well. And I just think this looks so fun. And again, it adds a bit of interest and dimension without having to do a whole lot of popping stuff up, etc. This will fit into a standard size business envelope. I get mine from MFT. I think they're really nice, good quality. And anytime you buy a card from me, they include an envelope. So once I get all my clouds down, I'm going to bring in the blue for our water and get that adhered on the inside. So if I had to do this all over again, I would use liquid glue, but I had no idea where mine was. I was like, I don't know where it is. And I wasn't going to get up and try to find it. Let me just be honest with you. So once I get that all glued in, we'll move on to the rest of our scene. So as I mentioned, they are doing challenges. This one ends on the 22nd of July. I'm not sure when they will announce the next one, but I will try to remember to leave the link to their group in the description box down below. Now, please note, this is ran by their design team. So it's not a place to get, customer service questions answered, etc. It's just a place for inspiration. They share the challenges, they share sneak peeks of new releases, etc. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere the umbrella and just kind of tuck it behind our sand. And then we're going to add our little towel, beach towel, and then we're going to add our little froggy. And he is sitting on his towel under the umbrella so he doesn't get sunburned. So I'm going to be using not only the pail, but also the snail to kind of cover up where the scene, like where the quote unquote beach meets the sky. That way it's not such a weird kind of transition. So I brought in just some darker colored Copics, and I am just dotting on the craft. This kind of gives it a look of gravel or sand. Once I do this with a couple of colors, then I'm also going to bring in a white gel pen, and then eventually I will bring in a glitter pen to just kind of add a little bit of sparkle, because the couple of times I've been to the ocean, which has literally been twice, there's always, like from shells and stuff, there's always a little iridescent in the sand. So I really like it. I think it turned out really, really fun. And now we're going to add our bird and our butterfly. So I'm going to pop those up. And again, just a little bit of dimension because I want it to look like they're up and away or coming down. The one time we went to, not this time, but the last time we went to New England, we went to Old Orchard Beach, and there were people flying kites that were huge. They had to be like, I don't know, 8 by 5 or like 8 foot by 5 foot. It was insane. It was a little chilly because we went in the fall, but it was really nice and I really enjoyed it. So now I am just going to use my bone folder to kind of pull everything down. I went over the blue with a glitter pen, and then that's it. That's my card. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. I will have a second card using the other images that I colored for you next week. But until then, I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.